Aloha, everybody! It is I, the Great Clement, and ladies and gentlemen, let's indulge in some Mania. That's right, folks. Today we are playing Sonic Mania for the PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, PC, you name it. It's on all the modern consoles. And this game might be the most well-received Sonic game since ever? I think this might have the highest Metacritic score right now. The best game reviewed since, like, I don't know, the adventure games or something like that? Maybe Generations? I don't know. But, this game is a throwback to the old Sega Genesis Sonic the Hedgehog titles. And unlike a game like Sonic the Hedgehog 4, Episode 1 and 2, this does not have a 2.5D graphical overhaul, it doesn't have a homing attack or screwy momentum. This game looks like a Genesis game, it feels like a Genesis game. So if you were a fan of Sonic 2, Sonic CD, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, all of those old games, you're going to find something to love here with Sonic Mania, and it certainly takes a lot of inspiration from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Just look at this save selection screen right now with the amazing music! Oh my god, the music in this game is so good. But yeah, folks, we have a whole bunch of playable characters here. We can play as Sonic, Tails, or Knuckles, just like in Sonic 3 and K. And I'm going to be starting this adventure off with the duo. I'm going to be playing as Sonic and Tails. So yeah. Oh yay! We're back in Green Hill Zone, my favorite location. We don't come to this place often enough. I've really missed it. But seriously, we are playing as classic Sonic again, and he doesn't have a homing attack, so if we want to defeat Badniks, we're going to have to do all the old familiar tricks. Jumping into them normally, curling into a ball by pushing down whenever we run around, and we can rev up the spin dash to plow right through those chompers like it ain't no thing. But Sonic Mania actually added a new ability that has not been in any of the previous games before. So, for example, oh, this loop-de-loop here. I'm gonna need some momentum to go through it. Jump, jump, jump. Ooh! That, ladies and gentlemen, is the drop dash. This is introduced in Sonic Mania, and it's an ability that allows you to gain instant speed whenever you hit a jump. So basically, you jump, you push the jump button again, and hold it down, and Sonic's sprite will actually change. Normally you can see his spines, his eyes, his sneakers whenever he's jumping around. But he turns into a solid ball when you lock it in. And when you do lock it in, wherever you land and wherever you're facing, Sonic will just immediately propel forward with a huge burst of speed. And I gotta imagine a lot of speedrunners really like that ability. I really love that ability. It's probably my favorite Sonic ability that's ever been introduced in these classic games. So, it's awesome. And now we just jumped into a big, giant ring. And oh, look at this. We have a special stage. Of course, we were going to have special stages. Of course, we're going to find the Chaos Emeralds that can transform Sonic into a yellow, overpowered monster. It wouldn't be a classic Sonic game without the Chaos Emeralds. And yeah, it's not the half pipe from Sonic 2. It's not Blue Sphere from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. It's not even the UFO busting thing from Sonic CD. This is a completely new, different special stage for Sonic Mania with a 3D polygon perspective. And oh my god, this is probably my favorite special stage ever in the whole entire series. I'm not kidding. Every time I replay Mania, I always purposefully go through the Chaos Emeralds. I go for the Chaos Emeralds in a new game because I love getting them so much, because I love the special stages so much. These are easily my favorite special stages in any Sonic game ever. And I do not say that lightly because I've been playing Sonic games ever since I was a little kid, ever since the 90s, you know? It is amazing. It is amazing. And here I'm demonstrating that when you have Sonic and Tails as your playable character, you can actually get Tails to fly Sonic around, and you can actually go up to higher places that way. You don't need to just be Tails. You can be Sonic and Tails, and he'll actually carry you around. So basically what you want to do is hold up and mash the jump button, and when you do that, Tails will actually go into his flying copter formation, and as Sonic, you want to jump into that in order to gain control of that duo, and then you can just fly wherever you want. For a short period of time, of course. Tails still gets tired, but that is something you can do with the Sonic-Tails combination. And this game is going so fast. It's Sonic, after all. It wouldn't be fast if it weren't Sonic. It wouldn't be Sonic if it weren't fast, is what I mean. We have mini-bosses. At the end of every single act, we will be taking on some form of boss. And this one, well, it's the first one, so it's pretty easy. The 2 metal Eggman heads, and they all have 3 hits each, so you just hit them both 3 times, and then you're pretty much good. Don't hit them when they're red and spiky, and you'll be fine. Every time you defeat a boss in Act 1, the sign will come out, and you can keep jumping into it for points, and to manipulate where it falls. And sometimes it's important where it falls, because you never know when there might be an item box hanging in the ground that it might pluck out, so that you can get some extra rings, or an elemental shield like I just did. So right now, I actually have the electric shield, which again, the sign and the elemental shields are both in Sonic Mania, and they are both a Sonic 3 and Knuckles kind of thing. I'm also going to be going for all the trophies in Sonic Mania, so that's a twofer. You get that trophy for unearthing 2 item boxes with 1 victory sign whenever you finish in Act 1. So, yeah. But yeah, the elemental shields are back, ladies and gentlemen, and Sonic can actually get a whole bunch of awesome properties from them that Tails and Knuckles cannot. So Sonic can actually do the double jump. If you push the jump button again while the electric shield is on, you will jump so much higher, and you'll actually attract a whole bunch of rings to you whenever you're running around. So it's a great way to rack up rings, and if you collect 100 of those things, you'll get an extra life. There are 1-up boxes scattered throughout the levels. Lives are still a thing, but you're going to want to get them in order to stay alive for the majority of this game. And what's in here? It's Blue Sphere. Again, this game takes heavy inspiration from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. It may as well be Sonic 3 and Knuckles 2, just by its structure and its design. So if you really love that game, if you think it's the best Sonic game ever made, then Sonic Mania is absolutely the game for you. It is absolutely the sequel that you have always been wanting ever since 1994, and that's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy to think that Sonic 3 and Knuckles came out in 1994. And this game came out in 2017. But yeah, Blue Sphere is here, and you do not get Chaos Emeralds by performing these Blue Sphere special stages. Every time you go to a checkpoint post and you have 25 rings, you'll get the sparkles. And when you jump into the sparkles, just like Sonic 2, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, you'll come to this. And instead of getting Chaos Emeralds, you're going to get a whole bunch of medals. And those medals will actually unlock extra features for the game. New abilities for Sonic, a sound test, a certain multiplayer game that is connected to the second zone's boss at the end of that. I'm not going to spoil that right now, though. For the sake of this playthrough, however, I'm not going to be going for every single medal at all. In fact, I'm going to be saving the special stages for after the playthrough, because I just feel it interrupts the flow of the game. We've already seen Blue Sphere with Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and we'll be seeing it a lot more later. And these levels are pretty long. They're already like 10 minutes long by themselves, and I am going for the Chaos Emeralds and stuff, so, you know. I won't be doing Blue Sphere again until after this playthrough is over, but I will be getting all 32 gold medals. Mark my words, I will be getting all 32 gold medals. Also, yeah, I just showed you where a special stage ring is, but I'm not going to grab it right now because I kind of want to separate the Chaos Emeralds between zones. And ow, those spikes are sharp. Owie. Yeah, this zone is definitely a big amalgamation of the first 3 acts from the original Sonic the Hedgehog 1, so a lot of this level design should look pretty familiar if you played Sonic 1 a whole bunch. And now I got the Flame Shield, which allows me to propel forward, and ooh, look at that! Now it can't hurt you anymore, Sonic. It can't hurt you anymore, those spikes. So yeah, the Flame Shield, not only does it allow you to propel forward like it did in 3 and Knuckles, as you saw right there, it actually destroyed the wooden spike bridges in Green Hill Zone. Something I really like about Sonic Mania is that they actually made all of the elemental shields have some kind of effect on the locations that you're going through. And it's not just the Flame Shield, like the Electric Shield will have an effect in Flying Battery, the Bubble Shield will actually save you from certain dangers in the second zone. And, yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's worth mentioning, the elemental shields are here in Sonic Mania. Sonic can take advantage of all their bonus abilities, like double jumping and bouncing and stuff. Tails and Knuckles will still glide. Tails and Knuckles will still fly. They're still going to be doing their thing whenever they get an elemental shield. But Sonic, when he picks up a bubble shield, he still bounces. He still bounces and bounces. But if you're Tails and Knuckles, you'll still breathe underwater with the bubble shield. You'll still attract rings to you with the electric shield. You'll still burn down bridges with the flame shield. So hey, all that stuff, everything is still there and hunky-dory. And now we're entering the second special stage. I actually didn't mean to go into this one, but I forgot that when you hit the spring, you're kind of locked into going into it. I'm going to be separating Chaos Emeralds per zone from here on out, but yeah, folks. So how this special stage works is there's a whole bunch of blue spheres lying around, there's a whole bunch of rings lying around, and the Chaos Emerald is being held by the UFO that is constantly flying through the stage. It's always going in the same pattern every time. So if you just memorize where it's going, you can catch up to it pretty nicely. But you have a time limit that goes down, and it's counted by your rings. So you collect rings, your time limit goes up. If you hit bombs or spikes or stuff, your rings will actually go down, and that means you're going to be that much quicker to losing, so you want to maintain your ring count. And there's also pits and stuff that you don't want to fall into, because if you fall in a hole or something, special stage is over. But you basically want to gain blue spheres in order to go faster, so that you can catch up to the UFO. And when you know what you're doing, oh, it's so damn fun. Oh, hi, Eggman. Nice to see you again in your Death Egg robot, which we totally also haven't seen enough of in Sonic 4, Sonic Generations, Lego Sonic Dimensions, which I just played just before this. But either way, it's the first boss of Green Hill Zone, and I remember I was playing this game with my nephews, and they actually had a lot of trouble with this guy, even though there are some things to know. One, the feet won't actually hurt you. You can actually walk under Eggman, and you won't get stomped by him. You do have rings, and you want to jump into Eggman's cockpit from like an angle, from like a higher slope. Be like Obi-Wan Kenobi with the high ground! Once you get the high ground, everything's smooth sailing. But when you're close to him, he's going to stick out his arms, and you can actually jump on the arms to jump into Eggman. When you're far away from him, he'll shoot a whole bunch of bombs at you that you want to avoid. And this boss fight actually does have a time limit, because there is an end to this pathway. And if you take too long beating him up, he'll actually chase you to the edge, and you'll actually fall off the cliff and die. So you do have to kill him fairly quickly. which makes the first boss kind of challenging. At least harder than the drill tank, that's for sure. What is up with those egg robos? What is that purple jewel that Eggman has? What is going on with the plot? I have so much still to talk about because there's a lot to talk about with Sonic Mania, and we'll talk about it some more in part 2. See you then!